the digital station for comedy, drama and entertainment. BBC Radio 4 Extra.
Well, next on 4 Extra, Arabian Afternoons, the last in our series of dramas loosely based on the stories of the Arabian Nights. Today, we're serving up a dish of pomegranates.
Everyone tells stories, they don't make any difference.
They make all the difference. Listen to the birds. A chorus of stories. Every song is a territorial claim or a boast. Who can produce the strongest children?
Or like evening in the old city.
The cries of souvenir sellers.
The drumbeat of the dance club.
Calls to prayer.
Or like the concourse of an airport. You know Ben Gurion Airport?
No.
Are you carrying a package for anyone?
To the West Bank.
There, you are quizzed by security not as you arrive, but as you leave.
Do you know any people in Israel?
At departures, they want to know everything you've done in that country, where you've been, who you've met.
Can you show me the email, please?
My flight starts boarding in 50 minutes.
Where did you buy this computer?
Office Depot, Santa Barbara.
Got a receipt?
It's over 3 years old.
Where's this invitation from Tel Aviv University?
You can't leave before you've told your story.
Here's the email, and here's the paper I gave.
And it had better be a good story, or you will never leave.
What are telomeres?
A strand of DNA at the end of a chromosome. They basically set the number of times a cell can divide.
Okay, put it away. What else have you got in there?
It's been through 2 X-ray machines.
Can you open your bag, please?
Is this because of my name?
What about your name?
Ajib. I know it's Arabic, but racial profiling is illegal.
Just open your bag.
Oh no!
Leave them, they're just oranges.
No, they're more than that.
More than oranges? How?
They have a sentimental value.
Sentimental what?
Okay, it's a long story.
Yeah?
Alright, if the fruit has cleared screening, he's allowed to take it on the plane.
Yes, but he said they had sentimental value. And you know what Palestinian sympathizers call Gaza? The land of the sad oranges.
Confiscate them if you think they're a flight risk.
I think he's a flight risk. He has an Arabic first name. He says that's because his mother is Egyptian, but then he says his grandfather used to export oranges from Jaffa.
Passport. Ajib Allen, father Kaisen Allen, no flags. Sit Allen, maiden name Ayman.
See? No Jaffa connection. The story doesn't add up.
Which room's he in?
3.
2 things to remember about this job, Orit. First of all, we are representatives of the country. America is still an ally. Pissing off one of their citizens doesn't do our security any good. Secondly, you know who carried out the last attack on Ben Gurion in the 70s?
Of course, the Japanese.
Exactly. They didn't have Arab names. We don't racially profile anyone. We profile for everything.
Look for the intention, not the weapon.
Okay, look at the camera. What do you see?
He's pacing around the room. He looks nervous, impatient.
What does that suggest to you?
Guilt? Why would an innocent person be worried?
Wrong. An innocent person will always be anxious or angry when detained. He might miss his flight, feels held against his will. 2 times I've actually caught a terror suspect. You know how they behaved? Resigned, prepared, sometimes almost relieved.
So you don't think he's a flight risk?
Let me lead the questioning. Mr. Allen, I'm Rafi Katz, Chief Security Coordinator. Please take a seat. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but there are just a few things I'd like to clear up.
You know my gate closes in 30 minutes.
This won't take long. You were born in Michigan, that's right?
Let's cut to the chase. I know what the problem is. I said I had a grandfather here.
Yes. Your dad is American, your mother Egyptian. You can see why we're confused. Where does the Jaffa connection come in?
This is hard, but I'll try to make it short.
Okay.
Look, for 32 years, I thought I knew where I came from. My mom was born in Egypt, Christian background, lived in America since the late 70s. My dad was a typical Midwesterner, blonde, Scandinavian-looking, though actually his dad was half Jewish. So like most Americans, I'm mixed up. And Dad died of skin cancer 2 years ago. It was a blow. But then I did something stupid. I thought I'd compare his DNA with mine and my younger brother to see if the cancer was genetic.
Go on.
Well, when I looked at it, there was no way we were both his sons. One of us had a different biological father.
You. It must have been tough.
Really blindsided me. I didn't know what to do.
The logical thing would be to talk to your mother?
Logical, yes. Easy, no. How are you supposed to ask someone if they cheated on your dad and you're the bastard offspring?
So your father's father came from Jaffa?
Yeah. It was 1978. Mom was at college in the States. She just started dating my dad. She took a trip back to Sinai for a wedding of a Muslim friend. And the peace accords had just been signed. It was a different time. And a magical wedding. The feast was prepared by a family from Jaffa, the El Harounis. One of the sons was the cook. My mom, she loves Middle Eastern food, started talking to him about a dish of pomegranates on the menu. And they talked about recipes and the wild herbs he used. He took her for a walk into the desert to show her where they grew. And they sat under the stars, talked into the night. Well, you get the picture.
And the name of this young man?
Badr.
Badr al-Harouni.
They promised to keep in contact, but she was about to leave college. He'd been set up with a job in Kuwait. They lost touch.
Why did your mother wait all these years to tell you?
She didn't know. She didn't discover she was pregnant for a couple of months. Those were the days before scans. She assumed I was conceived in the US. My dad proposed to her, and when I was born, they just thought I was a bit premature.
So when you told my colleague that your reason for visiting Israel was to give an academic paper, you weren't telling the truth.
Yes, I was. Look, I had the invitation for months.
Sounds to me like the real reason you came here was to track down your father.
No, it didn't even cross my mind. It was only after I changed planes in London that it even occurred to me.
We're closing the bar. A quick refill? No thanks.
Me, though. I'd love some more Prosecco. So, what is it, eh? Are we determined by our genes? Or can we change thanks to environment?
Sorry?
Your book. All in the code, how it's written in our DNA. I'm Howard, by the way, Howard Jacobs. I'm so old-fashioned I still talk to people on planes. This is my daughter, Julia.
Hi.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Ajib.
Ajib. I doubt you're on Aliyah, then.
Aliyah?
The ascent, the return to Eretz Israel for diaspora Jews.
Is that what you're doing?
I just wanted to see where I spent the first few years of my life.
Funny, isn't it? As we get older, we get more and more obsessed with our roots. Julia was born in Haifa, but we haven't been back in over 20 years. Where are you from?
California.
Yes, but where are you from, originally?
Michigan.
I meant your mother and father.
My mom was born in Egypt. And my dad, he's from... I don't know. Does it matter? I feel up in the air about it. And after all, we're not trees, are we? We don't have roots. We've got legs.
To being up in the air. The Chaim. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dad always gets sentimental at 30,000 feet. I think it's the air pressure. Or the second bottle of fizz. So what are you going to Israel for, Ajib? Business or pleasure?
Bit of both. I've got to give a paper at a conference. But I have a couple of days to look around.
I bet you have lots of adoring students.
You live in hope.
So, is it really all in our genes, then? And if it is, if we're pre-programmed to be bright or stupid or conservative or radical, where's the role of free will, Ajib?
The pilot has now started his descent to Tel Aviv and illuminated the seatbelt sign. Could you all return to your seats?
Have the book.
Fasten your seatbelts.
I finished it.
To an upright position.
I chatted with him until we got to the baggage area. I travel light, only hand luggage. I went my own way, but something about that conversation made me think of looking up my dad.
So you went straight to the university from the airport?
Yep. Gave my paper. Cell apoptosis and the telomere strings. There weren't that many students. I had a meal with some of the faculty after, but it was quiet, and I was shattered after my flight. Got back to my hotel by 10 p.m., slept for 12 hours, and then spent the next day just sitting on the beach.
All day on the beach? You didn't talk to anyone?
Well, I ordered ice cream, beer, but no. I was happy to sit in the sun and just watch people.
People?
Well, in the cause of genetic research.
How's that?
Well, it's interesting. Most Jewish friends in the U.S. just look, well, American. But Israelis, I mean, what a fantastic mix. Tall but curvy, dark and Sephardic, sometimes Russian and blonde. I mean, whoever thinks Jewishness is an ethnicity should come here.
So what does your partner make of your genetic studies?
Partner?
You're married? Got a girlfriend?
Not right now. I was in a long-term relationship. Kinda. 3 years. But when this thing blew up about my origin... Are you sure I'm not gonna miss my flight?
It usually runs late. So, how did you track down the Al-Haruni family?
Oh, that bit was easy. Just went to the land registry. My grandfather, Jibril Al-Haruni, owned a warehouse in the Ajami district of Jaffa. He last paid his property taxes in 1983.
Oh.
And that night, I went there. Jaffa was nothing like I expected. The old Arab town, so chic and gentrified. You know, fashion shops, artist studios, galleries, restaurants. I found where my grandfather's warehouse was, or where it used to be. It had been turned into a nightclub called Lambada. So I just sat in a cafe next door and watched the world go by.
Can I get you anything else?
You don't serve beer here?
Not today.
Another hibiscus tea, then. By the way, the Lambada nightclub, how long has that been open?
2, 3 years. The Russians took it over.
What was it before that?
Art gallery.
Before that? It used to be a warehouse, didn't it?
Not sure.
I thought the Al-Haruni family used to own it. Jibril Al-Haruni?
Maybe. He died a long time ago.
Well, did it stay in his family?
Many places are bought, many are demolished.
He had 2 sons, I heard. Ramadan and Badr.
I don't remember their names.
One of them went to Kuwait. Do you know what happened to him or his brother?
They moved out.
Well, do you know where they went?
Why so many questions? I don't get involved in politics.
Nothing to do with politics. It's a family matter.
I think he went to Al-Quds.
Where's that? In Jordan?
Al-Quds. Jerusalem.
Well, Jerusalem's a big city. How would I find them?
Try the Damascus gate. Go to Bazaar there. Say you're a Zift. I'm looking for Kalam Fadi.
Zift? Kalam Fadi. Okay.
You went to Jerusalem the next day?
Yes, but I've been through this with her. Look, my gate might have closed by now. I've got a connecting flight in London.
Give us a moment. We'll see what the status is. All right?
I'm sorry I've wasted your time, but you've got to admit it was a strange story. But it all stands up. Shall I call the airline and hold the flight?
No, he's going to miss it.
What? I don't understand. He's explained the grandfather in Jaffa. The story sounds too far-fetched for him to make it up.
I think the story's true. And that's the problem. Run it through. Art, a bright young American has just discovered he's got Palestinian roots. He's alienated, disaffected. Those are exactly the kind of people vulnerable to indoctrination. And look at his profile. Age, education, marital status. Most radicals are recruited in their 20s and 30s. They're often academically successful too, but with no stable emotional relationships.
The next flight isn't till the morning. We'll have to keep him overnight.
Put a phone call into his mother in the US. Double-check the story about his father.
What are you going to do?
Find out what happened in Jerusalem. If someone made contact, if he was approached, it will have happened there. I bought coffee, some hummus and falafel.
Why? I thought this was over. Did they delay my flight?
No, you've missed it. Sugar?
Now, hold on. Look, you've taken my cell phone and laptop. You've held me without charge so long, I've missed my flight. I demand to speak to the American consulate or a lawyer.
Calm down, Ajib. You're booked on the morning flight and will be upgraded to first. But I've got a duty to protect all the passengers leaving this airport.
You can't seriously think I'm some kind of threat.
I didn't say that.
Then why are you keeping me here? Treating me like some potential suicide bomber?
Because some of the people you met might be a threat. I need to hear the whole story.
I know now.
Go on, eat. Then you'll feel better.
I wish I'd never come here. This whole trip has turned into a nightmare.
So, what happened in Jerusalem?
So?
My mouth is so dry with all this talking.
I'll get you something to drink. Tamarind juice? Sherbet?
Just some water.
So what happened in Jerusalem? What's that city really like?
Like a chorus of birds, all telling their stories.
It was crazy.
A bewildering city.
Compared to Tel Aviv.
Like walking back in time.
I arrived at the Damascus Gate in the old city. Wandered down the Via della Rosa. Catholic nuns crying and singing. Protestant evangelicals with wild visionary eyes. Then military foot patrols. Teenagers with rifles and radios.
He went to the Western Wall, the last surviving part of Solomon's temple. Above it, he could see the gold dome of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, where Muhammad ascended to heaven. He tried to get closer, but his path was blocked by a cordon of police.
We were holding back some protesters. They seemed to be American-born, Jewish nationalists. They wanted to pray at the mosque and were calling the police collaborators. They started taking their numbers and names.
I want your name and number. And yours. And yours.
I was just standing back, observing, and suddenly they spotted me.
And yours, too.
Me? Why?
You don't fool me. You're an undercover cop.
You got hold of the wrong end of the stick. I'm an American.
Goy!
The atmosphere was tense, so I beat a retreat to the safety of the bazaar.
Roses and rosaries.
But there they were again, those Americans, even in the Arab quarter. They'd bought up a house and covered it with flags, playing loud music at their Arab neighbors.
Where are you from, America? I have poster of Obama.
I'm looking for two brothers.
You like Russian vodka? I have nice t-shirt, eh? Uzi does it, eh? What do you want?
Kalam Fadi. You know Kalam Fadi?
Who are you? Why are you asking this?
I'm Zift.
You are Ziv?
Yes, I'm Zift.
I am on. هذا الرجل عنده كلام فاضي وبيقول إنه مش الزفت.
I'm looking for Badr or Ramadan from the Al-Haruni family. Kalam Fadi? Kalam Fadi.
Don't listen to him. He's an undercover spy.
No, I'm not Kalam. Look, I'm an American researcher. Kalam Fadi. Kalam Fadi. Oh, look,
Come back, please. Come back.
And a stranger in a strange land. Ajib had no idea what he was saying, and soon had half a dozen traders chasing him through the narrow streets of the old city. Then he saw a print shop.
Here, come in here.
Thanks.
What did you say? Why do they think you're a police spy?
It's a misunderstanding. I'm just a tourist.
Well, they're not going to go away. Take your wallet out.
What?
That's something they'll understand. Pretend you're going to buy one of my prints of Old Jerusalem.
Okay, which one?
David Roberts, an original, worth $2,000, but I will give it to you for $1,000. Come out the back, and I'll wrap it up.
Look, I still don't know why they're so angry.
Here, there's an alleyway out the back.
I'm just looking for two brothers who used to live here, the Al-Harunis. Where are we going?
Somewhere quieter. Come on.
Vartan spoke English, Arabic, Hebrew, and Farsi. But he was an Armenian by origin.
Compared to the rest of the city, the Armenian quarter was a sanctuary, a little oasis of calm.
People get crazy here. It is called the Jerusalem syndrome. Go to the hospital. The psychiatric wards are full of foreigners who have visions or heard voices. But this city has seen so many fanatics. You know how many times it was conquered or destroyed? 36 times. Canaanites, Israelites, Egyptians, Romans, Saracens, Crusaders. They've all slaughtered each other. 11 times this city has converted from one religion to another. There's only one community which hasn't slaughtered all the others. The Armenians.
How come they didn't kill anyone?
Too busy selling weapons to the other sides. Ah, isn't this better?
Why were all those men so angry with me?
You should learn some Arabic. Kalam Fadi means empty words. You kept on saying you had empty words.
And zift?
It means tar, but it is another word for useless.
I think someone set me up.
But it is not only your bad Arabic that caused all the trouble. You kept asking about the Al-Haruni brothers.
Badr and Ramadan. You've heard of them?
Anyone who's been at the Damascus gate for more than a few years has heard of them. They were run out of town.
Why?
Why do you want to know?
I think one of them might be my father.
Come to my house. I'll make you some of our special coffee. And my wife cooks some very fine Armenian bread.
Look, I haven't got much time, Vartan. I fly out late tonight. Why did my father and his brother leave town?
It was just a rumor. But as rumors go, it was a very dangerous one.
Go on.
No one was ever sure which brother it was. But the story was that one of them spied for the Israeli Secret Service. Shimbet.
Was it true?
Who knows? The Al-Haruni brothers had a very successful trade in fruit and vegetables. They made a lot of money, especially with the Christian women. They were both very handsome. It could have easily been a business rival who started this rumor.
When did this happen?
About 10 years ago, around the Al-Aqsa Intifada. It was a very tough time.
Do you know where they went?
Hebron, I heard. Though why go to that minefield, I don't know.
How do I get there?
It's only 40 miles south, but in the occupied territories. So many army checkpoints. It would be easier to travel to the moon.
I could delay my flight.
You could be wasting your time. All I have is a rumor. Here is my house. I also have some other prints. And some lovely Arab miniatures, if you want to see them.
Hold on. Julia?
Ajib, is that you?
Thought you were staying in Tel Aviv. We called round your hotel last night.
Well, you should have left a message.
Oh, we're on a tour, looking at the Church of St. James. What a great coincidence.
It's a small world.
Unless you have to clean it.
Well, what are you doing here?
Just looking up some relatives.
Relatives, huh? What did I say about roots? Is this...
No. This is Vartan. He's helping me trace my uncle. Apparently, he used to live in Jerusalem, but now he's moved to Hebron.
Hebron? You're kidding. We're going there this afternoon. My cousins live there now.
Vartan says the road is full of checkpoints.
We're part of an organized tour. They'll wave us through. Why don't you come with us? There could be a spare place on the bus.
When'd you leave?
In about 30 minutes.
Vartan, I'd better go with my friends. Thanks for rescuing me from that situation.
Hey, but what about coffee at my house? And that print of old Jerusalem?
It was a good bruise. I owe you. But I can't afford $1,000.
Say 500. You can always sell it on eBay for double.
I'm really sorry, Vartan.
250.
Art, can you get in here? Now! Art!
I don't understand. What's the problem?
We visited the West Bank. It's not on his file.
I checked the database twice.
Have you got more than one passport, Ajib?
Sorry?
You heard what I said. Stop playing the innocent. How did you get into the West Bank?
Well, I used my Egyptian passport.
Give it here.
Well, I was told it might be easier.
I'll check out the number. The mother confirmed the story, by the way.
You spoke to my mother? What about?
We are asking the questions here, not you.
I don't understand. What have I done?
Don't be so naive. You visited Hebron, perhaps the biggest flashpoint in the whole occupied territories. You've heard of Baruch Goldstein?
No.
You ought to pay attention when you're walking into a minefield. How long were you in Hebron?
Only a couple of hours.
How did you get there? Who did you talk to? What did you see?
They left the old city. Temple Mount, the rock where Abraham bound Isaac when God commanded to kill him, past Mount Zion, the monastery of Mar Elias. They approached a refugee camp.
The driver put a Palestinian headscarf on the dashboard to stop stone throwers. But then he used perfect Hebrew on all the army checkpoints to Hebron.
Okay. Ajib just spoke to my nephew in Hebron. He says it's probably better that you don't come to his house.
Because I have an Arab name.
He has no problem, but his neighbors might.
So bigotry is bad, but caving into other people's bigotry is cool.
I'm sorry. Julia, do you mind staying with Ajib?
How could you abandon me with this terrorist?
And so our hero, Ajib, found himself inside the cave of the patriarch, the legendary burial place of Abraham, the father of three great religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam.
It's somewhere I've always wanted to go.
You should.
They say it's a place of reconciliation. The place where Ishmael and Isaac settled their differences to bury their father. It's where we can all learn that we are brothers.
Not anymore. Ajib stood in a synagogue facing one side of Abraham's tomb. He could see the mosque the other side, through bulletproof glass.
Though I'm a part Egyptian, Jewish, Lutheran unbeliever, I wasn't allowed to go there.
And suddenly, in the legendary cave of the patriarch, Ajib had a vision.
The blood. The bullets. Orphans. Children crying. The overwhelming sadness of that place.
Are you okay?
Not really.
You look pale. Hey, you're trembling, Ajib. What's wrong?
I don't know. It just feels full of grief.
Horrible things have happened here, but it's safe now.
No. It goes back. Blood and tears right back to the beginning. Abraham about to kill his son because God told him to do it.
But he changed his mind. Come on, let's go. There's a restaurant across the square. You need something to eat. How are you feeling now? Blood sugar back up?
It wasn't just that. All those guns. I thought America could be bad, but you never see someone walking down the street with a child on one shoulder and an assault rifle on the other.
If the settlers didn't have theirs, God knows what the Palestinians would do.
So that's the solution? Fight fire with fire?
I don't want to make you feel paranoid, but that guy at the bar keeps staring at you.
Which guy?
The fat guy with the newspaper. Don't look now.
Oh, let him stare. Bus leaves in an hour. Just be glad to get out of this town.
But what about finding your uncle?
Oh, come on. How am I going to be able to move around town? I'm labeled.
Uh-oh, he's definitely staring at you again.
Oh, I've had enough of this. All I wanted was a quiet drink.
Ajib, what are you doing? I think he's got a gun.
Can I help you?
Oh, you're American.
What's it to you?
Maybe I made a mistake.
You made a big mistake. Why do you keep on staring at me and my friend?
She's beautiful. You are a very lucky man.
If you don't leave us alone, I'll call the police.
I can save you the trouble. I am an inspector of police. How can I help you?
Why can't I just have a quiet drink? What's wrong with you people? Do you have to work out whether every stranger is on your side?
I work for the Palestinian Authority. Nobody is on my side. But I wasn't staring because of that. You remind me of someone.
Ajib, let's go.
Your name is Ajib? Then maybe it isn't just a coincidence.
Maybe what isn't just a coincidence?
You look like someone I knew.
Julia?
Oh, Dad's here now. We've got to catch a bus.
His surname wasn't Al-Haruni, was it?
Julia?
Of course. A relative. That would explain.
Which of the brothers did you know? Badr or Ramadan?
Both, but Ramadan left. His brother who went to prison. I tried to help.
Prison?
What's going on here? Is everything okay?
Oh, everything is hunky-dory. I'm Tawfiq, by the way. Tawfiq Abu Tor. I work for preventive security.
Look, everything isn't fine. Why did Badr go to prison?
I can't say. Unless I know how you're related.
I'm his son.
What?
Then I'm sorry. This will be a sad story for you. He was sentenced to 10 years in 2000.
What for?
Spying for the Israelis? Being a paid informant of Shin Bet?
But I thought that was just a rumor spread by his business rivals.
He was lucky. Many get more than 10 years or murdered in jail. I tried to help his lawyer get the Israeli authorities to deny it. But they never replied. And silence was taken as yes.
But that's 10 years ago. He should be out of prison now.
And this is why it will be a sad story for you. He died in prison 2006 of a heart attack.
Oh.
I am sorry.
So much for roots, eh?
Dad, shh.
I guess it won't be much consolation, Ajib, but I had a nasty shock today, too. Saw my uncle in Hebron, Lev. But he's old now, nearly 90. He can't talk, they feed him with a straw, and I spent most of the time with my cousins.
Dad, I don't think this is quite the same
They
thing.
see me as a traitor, too, for leaving Israel. They're very religious now. But you know what the worst of it was?
Go on.
Lev was what we call a chalutz, one of the first pioneers in the 40s. He married a sabra, it means prickly pear, a woman who was born there. And my uncle was prickly too. Mind you what he'd seen. Most of his family killed by the Nazis, except my dad. But he always respected the Arabs. And that's the irony. Lev was chased out of his home in Lithuania, and now his kids have moved into a house that used to belong to an Arab family. They wouldn't explain to me how they got it. Now that's not justice to me. That's more of the same. Jerusalem. It almost seems sane compared to Hebron.
What are you going to do?
I'm flying out tonight. I'd better get back to Tel Aviv.
I'll get our bags.
Can't you stay around for a few hours?
What's the point? I'll just get more people staring at me, asking me about my roots.
Ajib.
Okay, it's easy for you, Julia. With a surname like Jacobs, you're on the winning side.
Well, I'm not on any side.
Like, easy to say when you're the victor.
So that's all that matters, is it?
That's all that matters here.
Now who's putting labels on people?
What happened there?
It's just been a long day.
Ajib, this can't have been easy for you, huh? You almost found the father you didn't know you had.
And then it turns out he was a traitor to his people.
You don't know that for sure?
How can I know anything for sure now he's dead?
Whatever your doubts about what really happened, don't make the past the enemy of your future.
I'd better get to the airport.
Here's your book, by the way. Particularly like the chapter about how we're attracted to people from different backgrounds with different immune systems, different genes.
Yeah, genetic diversity.
Her mother wouldn't approve, though. But I can see how it could be healthy. English, Jewish, Ashkenazi girl, nice American, Lutheran, Palestinian, Egyptian boy like you.
I don't understand.
Not too smart, though. Here's my card. If you're stopping over in London on the way back, give us a shout.
Will do. Thanks. That's the last thing I saw of them. Headed back to the hotel to get my bags and made my way to the airport.
You didn't speak to anyone else?
I tried to find that son of a bitch cafe owner who set me up. You know, the Kalam Fadi, empty words. The cafe next to the nightclub was shut. I bought some oranges in a local store and came here to go through this nightmare.
I'm sorry, Ajib.
So there you have it. My whole pathetic little story. All I end up with is a severed roots I never knew I had and a bag of sad oranges. Hope it was worth keeping me up all night for. Hope it was worth missing my flight. As I said, I wish I never came here. Can I go now?
We'll just confirm your seat. Want any more coffee?
No.
There's a restroom there if you need it. Give Ajib his bag. It'll be okay. You'll be going home soon.
Home? What's that?
Wish there was something more we could do for him.
I've done some more checking.
If we could get Shinbet to confirm or deny that his dad was on their books.
I've just been cross-checking all the names. Guess what came up? The cafe next to the Lambada nightclub? It was the one part of the Al-Haruni household that wasn't sold.
So who owns it now?
You won't believe it. The owner is Ramadan Al-Haruni.
His uncle.
So, how do I get out of this place? What's wrong now? Don't tell me I'm missing this flight too.
Shh. That's up to you. But we think we know where your uncle is. Yes, the cafe is open. Can you see him?
No. Hold on, yes. He's serving those two women.
We'll wait here. As long as you need.
I don't understand. Why didn't he tell me? Why did he lead me on that wild goose chase?
Look what happened to his brother. No wonder he didn't reply to any questions. And he doesn't even know he has a nephew.
Hold on. Why are you doing this?
We need to know the end of the story.
Why? So you can turn me into an informant too?
That's not our job. We just have to check your story stands up.
You again? What do you want now?
Hibiscus tea? Maybe a salad? Some fruit? I went to Jerusalem, by the way, with my Kalam Fadi.
Why did you come back here? Are you working for the police?
No.
Are you a journalist?
I'm a scientist.
Why you come all the way from America to ask these questions?
If he told me the truth...
The truth? What does it matter? I've done nothing. I just cook my food and I feed the tourists.
I know what happened. I know about the rumors that Badr worked for Shin Bet. I know you both had to leave Jerusalem for your safety. And I know he died in prison.
Why do you care about this?
Look at my face. Even the police officer in Hebron could see the family resemblance. Yes. I only found out a few months ago. My mother didn't even know, but in the 70s, she went to a party in Sinai. They walked into the desert looking for wild herbs. They talked all night. I'm your brother's son, Ramadan.
I'll get your food.
What's he doing now?
Preparing something in the kitchen?
Has he got a knife?
I can't see it.
Give me the binoculars. Give!
You don't seriously think he could be a threat to his own nephew?
Think about it. He may not believe him. He may snap under the emotional stress.
So, what's he doing?
He's crying. He's taking the food over.
Thanks.
How did you know what happened to Badr? Did you talk to the police?
Yes. A Palestinian policeman in Hebron called Tawfik. You know him?
Yes. He tried to help. He knew that Badr was no traitor.
I'm sorry.
It's bad to be in an Israeli prison, but in a Palestinian prison, it's much worse. So your mother is in America now?
Yeah. She married a guy called Kaisen. Good guy. He brought me up. But he died last year.
Eat. You must be hungry.
Thanks. Wow. Oh, the salad. It's amazing flavor. What's the secret?
I add za'atar.
So, tell me about my dad.
My brother was a good man, but life was hard for him. He aged quickly. He always had a bad heart, but he went in a good way. He gave his life for someone else.
What is za'atar?
It's a wild herb. You find it growing in the hills. Here, try some of these. Pomegranates. I grow them myself.
Then, Ajib tasted the dish of pomegranates, just like his mother had so many years ago.
My mother told me she met my father because of a dish of pomegranates.
I thought of her every day. Every day for 30 years.
Your pet?
Oh, my son. Are you really my son?
Yes.
I don't even know your name. Ajib. That means wondrous in Arabic.
Or strange.
No, wondrous. Oh, so strong, so tall. A scientist, an American. Maybe my life hasn't been all wasted. Ajib.
So the cafe owner was Badr, and it was his brother who died in prison.
Ramadan was dying anyway. They changed places.
But why did the guards allow that to happen? I would certainly notice if you swapped places with your sister.
Maybe a bribe was paid. Maybe those jailers had some compassion. It was a beautiful act. Ramadan gave the last few weeks of his life to free his brother. But back to our story. 2 months later, there was a party by the dock at Jaffa. A wedding with 2 unusual guests.
Hey, Art. Never seen you in a dress. Kulim.
Whoa, that shirt though. I should have bought my sunglasses.
Come on. We better go in.
Did you ever get anything out of Shin Bet?
Took a while, but yes. There was no record of Ajib's father working for him. It was a false accusation. Badr is finally free.
But isn't it a crime to steal someone else's identity?
Badr didn't steal Ramadan's identity. His brother gave it to him. And no one's going to prosecute an innocent man for escaping a false charge.
Hey, Howard, Julia! Oh, what a great surprise! I didn't think you'd really come.
Well, how could we miss this?
It's an amazing story, Ajib.
Is that?
Howard and Julia Jacobs, I guess.
That's a long way to come for a wedding.
This is my dad.
Pleased to meet you.
And
Julia and Ajib would make a nice couple, don't you think?
Maybe there'll be another wedding soon.
Hey, Mom, Dad. This is Arit and Rafi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice
Remember the 2 people responsible for bringing it together?
Hey, welcome. You're not on duty, though, are you?
Well, actually, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We actually have a few more questions to ask. Where's the food?
And where's the drink?
This way, come on, guys. There's kosher wine, non-kosher wine, soft drinks. You must try some of my dad's pomegranate salad.
Good.
And so, Badr finally married the woman who he met in the desert, and whose son he had sired. And after 30 years, the family was reunited. And so ends the story of Ajib and his father and the dish of pomegranates.
It's a happy ending, Shahrazad. Why are you sad?
Because all stories must come to an end.
But then there's another story. And another story after that.
And they all have to end. It's already morning.
Then come back to bed. Let's forget about stories.
That's easy for you to say. I'll be dead tomorrow.
We'll all be dead tomorrow, Shahrazad. Come here.
In A Dish of Pomegranates by Peter Jukes, Shahrazad was played by Serene Saba, Shahrayar and Vartan by Kevork Malikian, Ajib by William El Ghardi, Orit was played by Betsabeh Emran, Rafi by Zubin Vala, Howard by Alan Corduna, Julia by Keely Beresford, the cafe owner by Stefan Khalifa, and Tawfik by Mossafar Shafai. The flight attendant was David Seddon, and the protester was Rufus Wright. The director was Mary Peat.